Hi, Ahsaas.
Hi!
So, what are you doing today?
I'm hosting another episode of Limitless by Westside.
Who are you talking to?
Today, I'm talking to two sisters from Shillong, Daki and Daffy, who are home chefs and want to showcase their Khasi food from Meghalaya through their project Symbai. Let's go. Daki, Daffy.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to be talking to y'all. Can I just say that yesterday I was just talking y'all and Symbai. You know, I love my sister, but she gets on my nerves if I'm like spending time with her for more than an hour. You both are working together.
Yeah.
How is the dynamic there? Like, do you all fight or like, are you all on the same page? Do you agree on things most of the time? What is it?
I mean, we have to be on the same page for things to work. But I mean, we've definitely had our disagreements.
I think the important thing here is that it's a disagreement and not a fight.
How do you manage that? I would like some tips. I mean, I don't work with my sister, but like I live with her, so.
Yeah. I think with Symbai, this is something that both of us really love. Like, we're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I think at the back of our heads, like, we both just really want to make this work. So I think subconsciously also we're just like working towards that.
No,
Like,
and
we
I
have the
think
same
it's
goals.
also a lot of like, I think with a lot of sisters, there's like that competitiveness. I think what really works for Daffy and I is the fact that I feel like what I lack, she makes up for, and then what she lacks, I make up for. You know,
Yeah.
because like everybody has certain things that they're good at, things that they're not good at. And I think it's just maybe understanding those things and then like making it work together.
So you complete each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of.
this is sweet.
Oh.
Oh, lovely. Okay, for people who don't know, and you know, could you like help us understand the Meghalayan cuisine? Like, I know that there are three tribes. There's Garo, there's
Garo.
Khasi, and there's Jaintia.
Jantia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
hey, yeah. So, and y'all do Khasi. What is the difference between all these three cuisines and tribes, and how does Khasi stand out from all the three?
So actually, the food that we do is also part Jaintia because
Khasi,
dad is Jaintia. So at home, like, we're used to eating Khasi food and Jaintia food, and also they're not drastically different from each other. There's a lot of similarities in many ways, like even with the ingredients that we use. But with Garo food is very different from Khasi and Jaintia food, though.
Culturally also, they're very different from us. Khasi food, like flavor-wise, is very subtle. We don't have a lot of spices. So there's also this misconception that Northeastern food is spicy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I think what we've managed to do, though, with Khasi food is sort of make people understand that that's not how it is. Like, not all the states eat the same way. All the states have very different, like, food habits and all of that. So, but like for Khasi food, like, the heat element comes from pickles mostly. Yeah.
It's also like common practice for us to just have like a green chili on the side of our plate and a little bit of salt, and like we kind of just take a bite.
Can I just tell you how happy that makes me? Because I also eat food like that.
Yeah?
I keep a little salt on the side and a chili on the side.
Oh, yeah?
And it's very alien to people. But I like that.
is it?
Yeah. I don't know why it's very alien to
Okay,
people, because I
yeah.
do like, I dip my chili in the salt and then I eat it.
Yes, that is exactly how they eat back home. Yeah.
Hello.
Maybe you were a Khasi girl.
Maybe at heart.
life. Past life.
Maybe, yes. I'm telling you, I'm going to love Khasi food. Just by looking at it, I'm already like, I think I'm just very excited to try that out.
Yeah.
Taki, COVID was an isolating time. What was that one dish that you would try out, that one dish that you resonated with a lot and you would eat a lot?
Honestly, like, COVID was the time that I actually started cooking more than I ever did. Because before that, I liked food, I was interested in it, but I never really took the time to actually cook something and make something like that. You know, it was more of like, just like, I have to make something to eat, and that was it. So that COVID was when I actually became really close with a friend of mine. Her name is Annie. And so she's a chef. And then she and I started spending a lot of time. Like, we were part of the same social bubble. That's like such an alien term now. People don't even use that term anymore. But yeah, so we were in the same social bubble. So we met pretty often. And so we would talk about food a lot. That was when I really started having this interest in like highlighting Khasi ingredients, because I felt like nobody was really doing that. My first ever pop-up was with her in 2021.
Yes.
So during that time, we experimented with like a lot of things. I would go over to her house, or she would come over and we would cook and just have like different things on the table. So I don't think that there was just like one thing that I made in that time, because I think that was the time that I really started cooking and experimenting. So yeah.
And y'all had your first pop-up in 2021.
Yeah.
2022 actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, how was it? Were you nervous? Was it intimidating? Because it's also like a cuisine that nobody knows of as much.
Yeah.
So were you like nervous, like people are not going to like it? Or what was that? Also, what was that one thing that you wanted to explore in Khasi food with people?
I mean, nervous we were for sure.
Yeah.
I remember both of us being like, should we do this?
Yeah.
Should we not?
Yeah. It was funny also because it wasn't something that was planned that way actually. It was supposed to be like a small gathering because I had cooked for some friends in Pondicherry and they really liked the Khasi food. And so one friend was like, nobody's ever had this food before. Like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you putting it out there? So I was like, I've never thought of that. And I don't even know how to go about it. So she was like, let's just do something on the terrace of my house. And she's like 6 to 8 people maybe. So I was like, okay. And then we talked a little bit more and then things developed and then it became an event. That was when I called Daki because she had done the pop-up with a friend. So I was like, should we do this? Because I think we could do this together. And then she flew down to Pondicherry with a whole suitcase of ingredients from Shillong. Yeah. It became a big event actually in Pondi. At first we were really nervous, but I think we put out like the ticket link and in 24 hours we were sold out. So I think that also just gave us a lot of encouragement.
For sure.
And where do you source your ingredients from? Like when you're doing pop-ups in Mumbai, let's say?
We try and get most of the ingredients from Shillong, from Meghalaya. Because we want to, again, like the whole point of Symbai is to introduce people to like really authentic Khasi food. So not like fancified in any way or anything. So we try to keep it like as, like original as possible. So we try and get like the turmeric from Shillong, from Meghalaya, which is actually one of the very well-known ingredients from there because it has like the highest curcumin level in the world. It's called the Lakadong turmeric. So that actually like originates from the Jaintia Hills, but like the Khasis use it as well.
Perilla seeds is actually something that we use a lot in our salads, like as a salad dressing, because it's also very similar to mustard seeds, rye, and
looks-wise.
It's like this nutty kind of seed that we grind to a paste and we use it in our salads.
Also in terms of nutrition, like that, like I said, the curcumin thing with the turmeric, and then with perilla you have, it's really rich in omega-3. So, like because the ingredients are like, we're still sourcing them like literally from the source. Yeah. Like, where the farmers are still growing them organically a lot of the time. So that way there's a lot of value to the ingredients as well.
Daffy, you gave up on a promising career as a pastry chef in a restaurant in Bangalore. And you went back to Shillong and you started your own bakery. Yeah. That's actually very brave.
Thank you.
What made you do that? Like, what was that one point where you thought, like, this is not what I want to do? I don't want to take the conventional way. I just want to start something of my own. What was it?
I think the fact that grandmom was doing something of her own, mom had started something of her own. I think for me also, like it was always there at the back of my head. Like I wanted to do something of my own. But also when I was working in Bangalore, there are a lot of things that I love to do, like in baking. But over there it was more like making things look pretty and, all of that, making things look shiny and pretty. But I'm more of like into hardcore baking. So I think at some point I was just like, okay, I've had enough of this and I need to do what I love doing. And yeah, for me, I mean, the only way out was to do something of my own. So went back to Shillong and started the bakery there in 2012.
Which is called Daffy's.
Yeah.
And there's Florist.
Florist is in Bombay.
Is in Bombay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
I promise you, because
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it because she's my sister, by the way. Like, it's actually really good stuff that she makes. So yeah.
What should I try? Or like, what do you suggest?
Everything. Let her name the top 3 things.
Yeah. I think I would be a good person for this. So the salted caramel tarts, the chocolate maki, and what's the third one? She makes a really nice apple pie. Really good apple pie. Yeah. Oh wait, there are those
Profiteroles.
profiteroles, seasonal fruits she does. Mango and strawberry she did. So good. So good.
Gosh, I'm hungry now. So let's talk about Symbai now. You started this in 22,
Yeah,
right?
22, yeah.
What does Symbai mean? Why did you name it that?
So Symbai is actually a word that means seed. In Khasi, it means seed. So the intention of naming something Symbai was meant for something else that I wanted to do. It's a completely unrelated project. But that never really came through, and it just sort of like took a backseat for a while because of my work and stuff like that. So, and then when we started doing these pop-ups after the Pondicherry pop-up, people were actually like, why don't you do something about this, like make it a thing, and like people were asking us, do you have like a card or an Instagram or something? And we're just like, maybe we should like take this more seriously, So, and then that's when I was telling Daffy, I was like, oh my God, the name Symbai has always been like a word that I've had in mind, and I've always wanted to name something that. So then we felt like it really suited the brand, because seed literally means like it's the beginning of food.
Yeah.
And also for us, it's the intention of like planting a seed of knowledge wherever we go with our pop-ups, like introducing people to Khasi culture.
Yeah.
So then it's sort of just like tied together. So yeah, Symbai. Yeah.
I know you told me that there's this misconception about food from Northeast, that it's spicy. But is there something else that you feel like, like some misconception or someone says that and you're like, no, this is not what it is. Like Northeastern food is very different. Like, is this something that...
Yeah. Another thing is that people think that we eat like primarily non-vegetarian food. But actually we do have a lot of vegetarian options also, dishes in fact. Like even, for instance, on our menus, like if we have 15 items on the menu, 3 are non-veg and the other 12 are vegetarian. From our pickles to our desserts, our mains also, we do have vegetarian mains. We eat a lot of salads. We still forage a lot of wild herbs that we use in our salads a lot. Yeah, and they're all very like seasonal. But yeah, we do eat a lot of greens also. Yeah.
But like you mentioned, desserts. I've read somewhere that Khasi food actually does not have desserts.
Yeah, we do not eat.
We're not a dessert eating community. We don't eat anything sweet really. Like the only sweet things that we would take is probably like honey, sugar and jaggery maybe in our tea.
We do have dessert for our pop-ups because like what we've realized after doing so many, and even after like the first or second one, is that we've made like adaptations. We've had to do some adaptations of like how to make a course menu, because I'm sure you know that like every sort of like tribal cuisine or anything like that, like you don't eat course-wise, right? That's a very like Western concept. So then when we do these pop-ups, we've sort of had to then introduce like the concept of a course 1, a course 2, your mains and dessert, because a lot of people do expect dessert, like that nice sweet sort of finisher. So our starters have been soups mostly, and then the second thing the second course is usually a salad, and then you have the main course, which is usually rice eaten with everything else. So it's eaten like a thali, like we eat like that. And so the fourth course is dessert. So we have 2 signature desserts that we've done so far. One is a sticky rice dessert. The sticky rice is from Meghalaya. And so we usually do that with like a creme anglaise and a fruit compote, because like back home we eat sticky rice with malai. Yeah. And something
some
sweet
honey.
like a jaggery or something.
Yeah.
So those 3 elements together in one. And then we have the yam and honey dessert, which is the most recent thing that we've done.
I saw that
So,
yesterday.
yeah.
I saw that. It looked really nice.
We were actually wondering if people would like it, because it's how we eat it actually is just like we just boil the yam and then it's cut up into slices, and then we have that with honey. But the honey that you get back home is so good, because the bees usually move around citrus flowers. So there's a really nice sort of like a zesty flavor to the honey. So we put the two together in a dessert and we piped it out. And so far, like people really like it. So yeah, we've come up with 2 desserts.
मेरे मुंह में पानी आ रहा है यार एक तो हद हो गई भूख लग रही है ज़्यादा but you know I really want because it's a cuisine that you know people like let's say in Bombay people are not aware of it at all. How is the response?
I think it's been surprisingly really good, right?
So also what we like to do is, so we host community dinners basically. You sit at a community table, you basically share food, right? You pass your bowls around and like serve yourselves. And we want to keep it that way. We like keeping it that way. Mostly because from the first one we did, we realized that we also had the opportunity to interact with everyone who's eaten the food. It's worked out really well for us. And that's also how we eat, right? Back home. I mean, I'm sure that's how everyone eats at home. But it's also, I think when food is the center, like conversation is really easy with people. And a lot of feedback that we've gotten actually is that like people walk out of the event saying that, you know, this has been so amazing because we've actually made like 4 new friends, you know, like suddenly I'm surrounded by new people but we just started talking and a lot of them have actually like, you know, they met at the pop-up and they'll be like, hey, the last time I saw you was in school, you know, but people have taken it really well. Mostly, I think, because our flavors are really clean. The way we cook is also very clean. It's very easy.
It's easy to like. Like the flavors are not overpowering. Coming to that is the misconception that a lot of the food is stinky because of fermentation. So a lot of like the Nagas do akhuni, which is a fermented soybean. So obviously, naturally, anything that's fermented would smell. Yeah. It's like your blue cheese or any kind of like you know, blue cheese is like one of the stinkiest things in the world. But so again, like, you know, there's that association with Northeastern food that it's smelly. But fermentation is actually such a wonderful process of preservation. And like people are actually so fascinated by it now that you have people like recently we had a chef come in from abroad and he actually came in to study fermentation processes in the Northeast. Yeah. You know, so that's not something like that is like it's not a bad thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, so far whatever we've cooked and whatever we've made at our pop-ups, like people have all said that, you know, it's been surprisingly like eye-opening and like taste bud opening and just like, you know, just the flavors are so nice. So yeah, it's been really nice so far.
And another thing is that everyone has said that the food is very easy on the stomach. Yeah. Like even though they've had like a plate full of food, everyone's like, you know, we're not feeling uneasy or, you know, it's really easy on the stomach.
So cooking for a lot of people is very therapeutic. Is it the same for you both?
I think it is.
I think it is, yeah. It can get stressful at times because, I mean, when you're cooking for a lot of people. But again, it's something that we're both really passionate about and we really enjoy it. The both of us also, like, we realized how much we actually love Khasi food. The fact that we're able to, you know, cook our food for people outside of the state and just teaching them about our food, educating them about our food. I think that's the thing that brings us a lot of joy. So
yeah, at the end of a pop-up, at a time when everything's done, everything is wrapped up, like Daffy and I are just like, wow, that was so nice. I mean, we're kind of like cultural representatives at this point, you know? So like to have people say such good things versus like a time when like, I think just 2 or 3 years before, you know, like there was this sort of like a sidelining thing that was happening with Northeastern people and all of that. So it's so nice that like you have like now we're sitting talking about this on like a podcast, you know, just openly like discussing the matter sort of. So it's really nice that way. Yeah.
A lot of times it's also like a little overwhelming for the both of us. Like every now and then we're like, we sit back and we're like, are we really doing this? You know, like, and a lot of times we end up crying because just filled with joy.
It's definitely overwhelming at some point.
But particularly with regards to showcasing Khasi food, what is it about your community that you really want to share with the world?
I think one thing though about like the Khasi community is that we are matrilineal, which is unusual for the country. So we take our mom's surname. The lineage is in the mother's name, in the mother's side. And when I was in college, we had a paper that we had to do about, it was called Culture and Society. So I picked the Khasi culture. that's when I actually learned a lot more. And I think like it kind of piqued my interest even then, that like we have so much, there's so much about the culture that even we ourselves don't know. And one of the things is that the Khasi people are believed to have migrated from like Southeast Asia. So they think that we have like Mongoloid sort of like origins. And so a lot of the ingredients that we use are also Southeast Asian ingredients in our food. So that's one thing. I learned when I did the paper that the deity, she's a deity. So they say Kable, but Ka is like the prefix, which means like female gender. So God is like a woman in the Khasi, like the original religion. So that's also pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea about this. So I feel so good,
cool.
so insightful. I'm so happy that I got
Please
to
visit Shillong. Yeah.
You know, I was going to come to that. I'm going to visit Shillong very, very soon.
Yeah, you should. Please do.
Could you please teach me something in Khasi that I could say, like if I want to greet someone or I want to say thank you, or what if I want to say that this is really tasty? How do I say that in Khasi?
So, I mean, when you meet someone, we don't really have a word to like greet someone and say hello, but we say kumno, which actually means, which you're kind of asking someone how they are, like how are you? But kumno, the word itself means how, but we just stop at that. Like we greet someone and say kumno
Just like
when we meet
shorten it.
someone. Yeah, it's Kumno.
Kumno.
Means
Yeah.
how are you?
Yeah.
Sort of, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
For thank you, it's kublai.
Khublei.
Yeah.
Means thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are two basics. And then what else would you like to
This
learn?
is very yummy, or like something to do with food. Like I'm sure I'm going to say this a lot when I have
Kabangha?
Khasi.
Kabang bha, yeah.
Bang is tasty.
Huh?
Bha is like a lot.
lot, yeah.
So like you really like it. Yeah. So bang bha.
Bang bang.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yes.
Thank you.
Complimenting someone on their food, saying hi and thank you. I think
Yeah,
that's
I think that's it. I'm
Covered.
good. Like, Baki, Shillong you all were telling us off camera that your next pop-up is going to happen in October.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
अब बोल दिया कैमरा पे अब करना ही पड़ेगा मैं आपको-
Now we have to make it happen.
Now you all have to make it
We don't
happen.
have a choice.
And I am going to come. I'm not going to have Khasi food. Like, I mean, I'm sure like you all are the first ones to do Khasi food in Mumbai. Also, like teaching us about your culture, about this food. I mean, it's incredible.
Thank you.
From everything that I've heard, it was so insightful. I got to learn so much, and I'm so happy that you're doing this and you're telling people about it. You're telling people about your culture and Khasi food, and I hope that this just grows and more people know about it.
Thank you.
More people
Thank you
come
so
to your
much. Yeah.
pop-ups and they're able to have Khasi food. I'm so happy, so happy to be talking to you all.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Thank you so
was so
much.
nice
for
being
being
here.
here.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah,
nice.
it's really nice.
chatting with
It's
you.
a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Kublai.
Kublai!
Yeah, Kublai.